Welcome to the mixing room. I'm Daniel.
I'm Trent. We've got a really exciting show for you guys today. But before we get to that, we want to let you know about something that is happening tonight that is very exciting if you're listening to this episode when it comes out.
Yes, if you are listening to us on Spotify on Friday, May the 9th, come see us tonight. Trent and I are playing with our band, and we are also playing on a bill with today's guest right here in town in Nashville. Come on out to New Heights Brewery. It's going to be an incredible show. We're real excited. If you're watching us on YouTube, guess what? We put out our YouTube a couple days later, so it's gonna be too late. You're gonna miss it. But that's all the more reason to go subscribe to our Spotify page so that you can get notified when the audio of our episode drops on each Friday, because we're looking forward to doing something like this again in the future. And so we're real excited to have today's guest on. Her latest single, Ain't Too Mad, is available to stream everywhere. Let's just get right into it. That sound good, Trent?
Absolutely. All righty. Without further ado, let's bring on our guest, Amber Cassidy.
Welcome to the mixing room, Amber Cassidy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Tell us just a little bit about what you've been up to.
I've been working on new music. I just put out a song called Ain't Too Mad, and I'm working on a new EP that will be out in the next few months. Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's really exciting. And before we get into Ain't Too Mad and some of that new music you got on the way, we actually did want to touch on the EP you put out last year.
Yes.
There's a project called Bad Dreams.
Yeah.
And obviously now you have Ain't Too Mad out as a single.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can expect some other singles along the way.
Yeah.
So why an EP for last year? Like what was your motivation behind a project that's a little bit more involved?
It was just something that I really wanted to do. Like when I started doing music, I just really wanted to just kind of create a body of work. I really like making a plan. I didn't really do this for the Bad Dreams EP because it was just my first time and I was just trying to learn how to do all of that. But this time around, I'm being a lot more just intentional about where everything fits in a whole project. So I do just like creating a whole thing. I really wanted to put out an EP and just have a bunch of songs that I felt fit together, and yeah, that was Bad Dreams.
Well, and so with that EP, obviously your new one is going to be perhaps maybe styled a little differently, a little bit more involved. But talk to us a little bit about some of the concept behind that first EP and maybe some of the style choices, songwriting choices you made there, and some of those influences.
Yeah, so I really wanted to do something kind of in the R&B world. So it's not totally R&B, it's very R&B adjacent, but I was just really just trying to pull from what I was listening to at the moment. I'm a huge Ariana Grande fan, so I feel like a lot of people know that when they listen to my stuff. And I also was listening to Jasmine Sullivan at the time, and Victoria Monet, just people just with strong melodies. I'm a really big melody person. So for the Bad Dreams EP, the first song that was written was Feel This Way. It was the first song that I kind of wrote and came into my head that I wanted to release. I knew the second that the idea popped into my head that I wanted to release it. And then I have this co-writing partner. His name's Rashawn Parks, and basically he wrote the entire EP with me. And the second that Feel This Way came into my head, I took a voice memo and I sent it to him, and we finished writing that together, and I brought it to the studio and recorded it. And that one was kind of out for a while before the rest of the songs were made. I had a version of this EP that I was working on before we had these 5 songs, but they just didn't sound the way that I wanted to sound as an artist. So I just kind of tabled them, even though I worked on them all with the band, and I had the band come in one day for a studio day and record all these songs, and then we scrapped them. And yeah, so Feel This Way I feel is also the crowd favorite. Everyone loves Feel This Way. Yeah, and then my personal favorite from the record is my song I Tried. It's just a mental health song, and just talks about living just with mental health struggles and how it affects the people around you. And thinking that running away from your problems is going to fix them, and it doesn't. But yeah, those are my two favorites, or that's my favorite, and then that's like Feel This Way is like people's favorite from the EP. Yeah.
Take me a little further into I Tried, but in a really honest way. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be somewhat difficult to write something that's vulnerable, that addresses that subject. And so
Right.
tell us what it means to, first of all, write it and then record it
Yeah.
and then release it knowing that you're putting that part of yourself out there.
Yeah.
Take us into that and how that felt, if it was cathartic, if it was challenging.
It honestly was challenging because just me as a person, I'm very like guarded. I don't really like people knowing kind of what's going on in my head, which is like weird when it comes to songwriting because it's like I have to kind of put everything out on the table and everyone kind of has to know what's going on. You know, because songwriting is literally how you process like the things going on in your head and all that. But yeah, so I tried. I was really shy about I Tried before I released it or played it out or anything because of the subject matter. Even just some of the lyrics, like writing it, there was like a long time where when I first started writing songs, I would just censor myself and like, you know, just not say the actual lyric that I wanted to say because I knew that other people would be hearing it and I just got self-conscious about it and stuff. But this one, I was like, no, like just say the thing, like just say whatever's in your head, whatever. So for a while I was really shy about it because it's very honest and it's just very much like thinking that just like it's about like shutting people out and like again like thinking you can do everything by yourself and wanting to do things by yourself but realizing that that's not gonna do anything. I mean, yeah, like the chorus line is literally like I tried running away but it didn't shut down the hurt.
Do you find that working with co-writers helps you kind of get past those walls, or how's that work for you?
It depends on the co-writer, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I always say that, like, well, yeah, you just have to, like, find your people in, because you just, even if you click with somebody, like, in a friend way, you don't always click with them in a songwriting way. It's so interesting. Because, like, I would think that, like, anybody I'm friends with, I would be able to write a song with, but you can't always. Sometimes you don't click with people musically, which is fine. So I think for sure, like talking to the people that I do click with, especially like my friend Rashawn, like he pushes me to be more vulnerable and like say the thing and be honest. And yeah, so the answer is yeah. Co-writing just depends who you're co-writing with, but yeah, for sure it does help. Yeah.
All right. You had mentioned that Ariana Grande is a big influence, right?
Yeah.
An incredibly talented vocalist and stuff.
Yes.
So much so that we recently saw her take on Wicked, right?
Yes.
In the musical theater world.
Yes.
You also, though,
Yeah.
have a little bit of experience in the musical theater world.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that and how it has influenced your musical journey.
Well, I'm very thankful, even though like for a while, I don't know, being a theater kid is kind of like, you don't really want to tell people that. But
Well, full vulnerability.
Are you guys
everyone
theater?
at this table is a theater kid.
oh, wait, guys, we're going to have to talk about this.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The theater
did not
kid
tell
to
me that.
music pipeline.
Yeah.
At least for me.
It
was
comes
like-
up
Yeah, well, it's,
several episodes
Yeah,
already.
really?
yeah, well, I think it's a stage presence thing. I think it's like I want to
Okay.
be out there, and I don't know.
Yeah.
At least for me, it was middle school. Like bands don't exist in middle school. Like no one actually even really knows how to
Right.
play the instruments yet.
Yeah.
What does exist is like musical theater, and like you
Right.
can go up and kind of do some slapstick and sing
Yeah.
a line, and there's a little bit of a place for that.
Yeah.
And then you get to high school, and there's like actual music programs and things like
Yeah.
that, and you're like, oh, I think I can actually do that other thing that I really want to do more.
Right.
At least that was my pipeline. Like by the end of
Yeah.
freshman year of high school or so, I was kind of like, yeah, I need to make this jump.
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, I'm a former
Uh-huh.
theater kid, former athlete, retired athlete.
Okay.
My LinkedIn. can-
Let's give us your whole resume. No, my journey was very much the opposite. I like resisted it for the longest time. And my friends were
Really?
like, "No, you got to do this," and
Yeah.
I very much fell in love with it in high school. So
Okay.
let's hear
Okay.
about your story.
Well, okay, so I started doing theater when I was like 4. Like we had a community theater like down the street from where where I grew up. So my parents enrolled me and all my siblings in this theater. Their goal was to like make us be okay like public speaking and just like talking to people in general, which like, I mean, I think it helped in some ways, but also like I'm still a very like, I keep to myself still. But anyways.
Hey, so far so good.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So I started doing it when I was 4, and we were very lucky also because not only were we able to do theater, but my parents, and I hated this when I was younger, but my parents like had a rule with me and my siblings that we all had to play an instrument. So they like put us all in piano lessons. But what I really wanted to do was sing. That was all that I wanted to do. So we had to like talk to the theater and like convince them to let me do it, because they usually typically don't let you take voice lessons like before 13 because your voice changes. So they're like, there's no point of giving you a voice lesson because your voice is going to change in like a couple years. But I was able to convince them. And so I started taking voice lessons at like 9. And then, yeah, so at this theater, I was doing voice lessons and I was in a bunch of shows. And then I did like the whole like theater audition processing, like for college. Like I auditioned for so many schools and did that whole thing. I got into one school. It was like I didn't know that the theater, like college, like I just didn't know that it was as competitive as it is. And like I wasn't even really sure if I wanted to do theater, so I was like, okay, maybe I should just find somewhere that I can just sing. Because at the end of the day, all I really wanted to do was sing, and I don't know why. That should have clued me in sooner, maybe, that like maybe theater, maybe I should just sing. But anyway, so I auditioned for Belmont and then this other school called Coastal Carolina in South Carolina. And I got into both schools, but I decided to go to Coastal first. Yeah, and then just I was singing there. I was a commercial music major there. But Coastal's like kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, okay, maybe, Belmont and like just Nashville was like in the back of my head like the entire time. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to like check out Nashville. But yeah, so I went for a year at Coastal, and then I like dropped out actually. And I was singing in a wedding band for a year. And then I finally transferred over to Belmont, and yeah, was a songwriting major there. Yeah.
What experience from singing in a wedding band have you carried over into performing as an artist in the present?
I think definitely just like it helped me like work with a band, because I hadn't really done that really a lot because I was doing theater all growing up. So that, and also just like stage presence, like just like because I was doing it so much, I was able to just like talk to an audience, like, because that was something that I kind of struggled with. Like I really just wanted to be able to go on the stage and sing and then get off the stage. Like that's really all that I wanted to do. But you can't really do that as like an artist or just like a performer. Like you have to talk to the audience. And honestly, like being in the wedding band and just like kind of having the reps of just like being in front of people and singing all the time helped me a lot. To be able to talk to an audience and stuff. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about what it was like transferring to Belmont for you. Did you find that challenging as well? How did it shape your music too?
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a great question. So I was super intimidated because it's just Nashville, especially like Belmont, there's just like everybody's kind of doing the same thing, which I find very intimidating, especially coming from like Coastal. Like the Coastal music program is so small, and I kind of like felt like I knew everybody. Not really, but like I knew, you know what I mean? Whereas like Belmont, I feel like there's constantly people that I'm like meeting. I'm meeting new people all the time. So I was very intimidated. But once I got to Belmont, like everyone's so nice and wants to work together. It's very collaborative and stuff. Yeah, in terms of like the music that I wanted to write, I like thought I wanted to like do funk music. Like I thought like I wanted like a whole horn section and stuff, but then that kind of like, for some reason I was like, no, this actually isn't what I want to do. And then I transferred over to like the R&B worlds. I always say I have like two songwriting brains. Like I write the R&B stuff that I like want to release and want for like my artistry and stuff. And then I have like a bunch of folk songs that I'm proud of and like lyrically I think are well written and stuff, but those like will never see the light of day probably. We'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind, but for the most part, like, yeah, just like, I don't know, doing something that's like outside of country also in Nashville is weird. And like, I've really had to kind of be okay doing something different because I feel like there has been a lot of times where I'm like, oh, maybe I should just do the folk thing or like do the thing that like, you know, I know will be received quicker kind of in Nashville, but then it just doesn't line up with how I want to sound as an artist and stuff. So, yeah.
And that integrity is really admirable. I think.
Thank you.
It would be perhaps a little bit self-sacrificial, but very financially and commercially beneficial to take that other path. But it's surely so much more fulfilling, even if you're building a fan base like listener by listener. Right. And those people are going to stick around too, because they're really there for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And talking about your writing process, we need to get into Ain't Too Mad. Because,
yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the writing of that. Was this one a co-write?
Okay, so this one actually I did not write. So this one actually was written for songwriting class. So yeah, I was just like in a songwriting class where like we had to make demos of all the stuff we were writing basically. And these two girls in my class who I'm friends with, Lainey Richardson and Kelly Taylor, they submitted this song for just one of the assignments and we were listening to it and I just was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard ever. And like, I just like instantly fell in love with it. And it was so weird because again, like I didn't feel like the class like received it as well as like I did. I was just like, this is like one of the best songs ever. But like, I don't know. Cause also like at the end of this class, like you have to like kind of just vote for like songs to like, cause I can explain more. Like this class is like, we're writing for like publishing companies basically. And they give us a list of stuff that they want. And then at the end, it's a bunch of co-writes. And then at the end we have to vote for like, I think it was like 8 songs that get sent to the publishing companies. And like Ain't Too Mad was at the top of my list because we all vote. It was the top of my list. I was like, this is best song. And like it didn't even like make the top 8. I was like, oh well, this is crazy. So yeah, so I just like downloaded it off of Canvas, like our like school's assignment website, and was just like listening to it constantly. And then I eventually texted Lainey and Kelly and asked them if I could have it, just like record it, and they said yes. So yeah, and since then I've brought it to one of the Belmont studios and recorded it with my band, who are incredible, and they sound so good on the song, and yeah, now it's out. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, is the band that you record with the same band that you play with live?
For the most part. I've been so lucky. I've had the same guitar player and bass player for all my shows that I've done in Nashville. Nico Ricci and then Ben Harpster, they're incredible. And then I've had like kind of moving like keys players and drummers, like just different ones. But yeah, so for the so like yes and no. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. A little bit of a fun question for you. Tell us a little bit about what you've been listening to recently.
Okay, so the Ariana Grande Deluxe album just came out. I'm obsessed with it. It's like the only thing I've been listening to. But also, do you guys listen to Leon Thomas? The Mutt album, crazy. So good. SZA.
I have to write that one down.
It's so good. I'm a huge SZA fan. I feel like I've been listening. I'm so late, but I just started listening to Frank Ocean.
Okay.
I'm really late to that train though, but I'm so impressed by him. He's so incredible. Yeah.
There was very brief time where me and a former roommate of mine would do lives on.
Yeah.
It was this newer app that one of his family members, who was also an artist, was like a partner for or something. So he had gotten us onto it as well.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty cool because it was still pretty small. We were getting a decent amount of attention on it. And we got this one person, like, kept coming back, was a regular viewer of us, and they always requested Frank Ocean. We were like, that is so outside of our abilities. But so cool that you're asking for that, but that is so outside of our abilities.
That's funny.
But no, his stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah. What have you guys been listening to?
Oh man, no one ever asks us.
Oh, shit, yeah, we're on the spot. The Mixing Room Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I just been listening to the same artists for years, and like I sometimes struggle to branch out. But usually, what people I do take people's like suggestions though.
Okay.
So that kind of helps me diversify my palette. I recently-ish just went to see Jason Isbell in concert, and so I've been listening to his new record.
My friends went to see him too. Yeah.
Foxes in the Snow, out now, an amazing record. And I just saw Joy Aladakun at the Ryman.
Okay.
And she has a new-ish project out. She opened for Noah Kahn like a year or two ago.
Okay, cool.
She's not quite the same genre, but kind of, a similar enough space.
Got it.
And she just put out a really, really great socially conscious record. And so I'd
That's
recommend
awesome.
those two.
Yeah. What's her name again?
Joy Aladakun.
Okay. I'll have to look that up. Cool.
I'll send it to you after the show.
Cool.
What are you on these days?
I think the newest thing that I would share, give me a second. In November of 2024. So it's been out for a little bit, but this album from Graham and Henrik, I think I don't know if that's how you say it, but I love both of their music, and they put out an album together, and I love it a lot. It's called Cedar Cliff. No skips on that album, but it's kind of like a folk thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's probably my rec at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
What were your favorite shows that you guys were in? / who did you play in the shows? I have to know.
Pictures?
No.
I
I was
don't
gonna
have
get us
pictures
back
on
to.
here.
I was gonna get us back to.
Okay.
This, so yeah.
For me, so my freshman year of high school was the last like full year I did theater.
Okay.
Sophomore year, that fall, there were a couple of like plays. They usually do the
Okay.
musical in the spring, but they would do like some plays in the fall.
Yeah.
And
did
that
that
fall,
too.
I was like, I just want to take a little bit of time away. I was still in like a theater class,
Okay.
but I was like taking time away from doing the shows, and I was kind of accidentally getting more and more into music, and then I kind of arrived at this epiphany moment of like, I can't go back and do the spring musical. Like, I just got to follow this. Shout out to Kevin Ferguson if for some reason he's listening. He was my theater director, and he actually no, but like when I sat down with him, and I felt like I'd be disappointing him by walking away.
Okay.
You know? And when I sat down with him and kind of just told him what headspace I was in, he was like,
Yeah.
go for it. Like, I can tell that you're passionate about this. Go for it. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that prior spring was the last of the true like musicals that I did like in the school year.
Yeah.
And every 4 years, my high school did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Okay, cool.
And so I was only a freshman, but sometimes they like needed men in the cast.
Right.
And I was the baker.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, I don't even know if it's this way in the real show, but I was playing it as this like extra Italian character. He has like a 30-second like talk singing solo.
Okay.
And like, I don't know. I went on to do a lot of different things in high school, but I still had friends of mine that would approach me and say, "There I was standing with baskets of bread," because that's like the first line of the solo.
Yeah.
There was a dress rehearsal where I was like other members of the ensemble too, because the baker's like in like the main song, but then like that's kind of it.
Okay.
And for our costumes, for me and for one of my friends who's playing the butler, where they both kind of come out and have solos and stand like center stage.
Yeah.
They had these like, it was like 2 t-shirts sewn together, one right side up and one like upside down with the legs cut, and it looked like an Egyptian garb. You know,
Got
like
it.
that
Okay.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we had like a quick change. Well, it wasn't a quick change yet. And the long story short was the second t-shirt that was like sewn on to make like kind of the skirt part, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
was like folded up under me, and I'm like backstage trying to fix it.
Oh,
and it's
no.
like show week. dress, full dress. Like,
Right.
there's no hold.
Of course,
We're just
yeah.
running it.
Right.
And I can't get it, and I'm like telling like one of the stage hands, like,
Yeah.
and she's like, it's fine. And so I just go out there.
Oh no.
And I got to do my solo. Mm-hmm. Center stage, spotlight, entire cast is kneeling behind us. There I am in the white t-shirt, the second t-shirt that's stuck underneath it. And
Oh no.
I was wearing a pair of blue underwear that day. Like blue, like boxer briefs.
No.
Not even like boxers, like
Yeah.
boxer briefs. And I'm kind of just doing the solo, and I'm kind of just thinking, this is it. This is it for me. I'm a freshman in high school. People don't like me. I'm a freshman. You know what I mean? I'm like an obnoxious freshman. I'm like, this is it. Well, so we get through the dress rehearsal. Everybody goes back to their dressing rooms, and we go and have a break for dinner.
Yeah.
And the seniors in the cast start like coming up to me and like, hey man, like that kind of took guts. Like you got through that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like one of the senior girls in the cast came up to me and was like, "What's up?" Like blue undies, but like in a like playful way, not in a condescending way.
Yeah.
And like we're like low key kind of friends after that. Like that was my ticket into like getting some upperclassmen respect.
Right.
But so needless to say, the first note of after that run and dinner was, Dan, that's gonna be a quick change now.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you guys like wardrobe people.
Right.
And I was like, no, it's fine. It just happened once. They're like, no.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
So then we had like like two people helping like dress me in what's basically a long T-shirt.
Yeah.
My coolest role, my best role,
Yeah.
the two shows I was in my senior year were both awesome. One was The Three Musketeers, in which me and my two best friends were the Three Musketeers.
Oh, that's
So
incredible.
extremely memorable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It doesn't get much better than that. We were on top of the world.
Yeah.
Epic fight choreography and stuff too. Like,
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
That was a top tier experience. And then my other show my senior year was Les Mis.
Okay.
And I was Thénardier, the
Okay.
innkeeper,
Yeah.
master of the house.
Right.
And that was really fun, but quite the opposite of my other senior show, The Three Musketeers. I was
Right.
never on stage really with my best friends.
Yeah.
Because they were all good guys and I was the bad guy.
Right.
So I if I was on stage with them, it's because we were
Like fighting or
fighting.
something. Yeah.
or yeah.
I had a thing like that.
I was being dastardly.
We did Peter Pan in middle school.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Me and one of my friends, we're like in A Pirate's Life for me. We were like pirates
Yeah.
in the background. There's like we're like basically fighting the entire song, but it's all like very like clunky, like almost
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
made to look animatronic, like just
Yeah.
back and forth, like fake
Right.
swinging at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a school assembly where we did like the song as like kind of a promo, like, oh, next
Yeah.
Friday, get your tickets, come to the show.
Yeah.
And in like the rehearsals, there was even part where he like throws me on the ground and he's like supposedly like pulling me by the shirt, and it's
Yeah.
all like staged and like it looks it's middle schoolers doing it, right? But it's like it works. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Well, we go up in front of everyone, at 8 a.m. at this assembly.
Oh my gosh.
And
8 a.m.
We're like, it's school, man.
Right. I know. I
It's
forgot.
like, yeah, right? Like, we used to live that life. Like,
Yeah.
you get in at, like, 7:30 on, like, a water and, like, a Pop-Tart, and that's, like, breakfast. And,
Yeah,
and you're just,
man. The assembly shows.
yeah. But I actually emceed a little bit at some of those
In middle school?
You
in middle school.
You can't
I
get
have
away
pictures
from
of
it,
that.
man.
I have pictures of that. But anyway, my point being, we go up to do it in front of the middle school, and the song starts, and, like, adrenaline, like,
Yeah.
he's throwing me around, and I'm all here for it. It's killing with like the kindergartners in the front row.
Right.
Like he's literally, I'm laying on the ground. He's picking me up by my shirt. Like I'm feeling myself.
Yeah.
And we get off stage, and I tell one of the teachers who was like kind of co-directing
Yeah.
the show or whatever. I'm like, that was great. I'm like, Jerome was really picking me up and like throwing it. She's like, no, it can't be done. I'm like, no, but it worked. People were laughing. She's like,
Yeah.
no. So then we had to like tone it down for the real show.
Oh man.
Boo.
In The Three Musketeers,
Yeah.
on Tech Day, me and one of my fighting partners
Yeah.
messed up our choreography and he stabbed me. Yeah, and I just like started bleeding. And it was right, he was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I
What?
said, finish the scene.
Oh.
And then we finished the scene And I went off stage. I went to the bathroom. I wiped it down. I put my clothes back on, and I went back on stage. And we never told our directors because I was like, there's a chance that they'll like tell us to slow down, or they'll change our choreography, or it's not going to be as cool. I'm not letting that happen. And so
hey, you guys are professionals because you both went on stage after something crazy happened, so that's awesome.
So the show must go on, right?
Yeah, the show must go on.
I was I was a little terrified the rest of the week during actual shows and stuff that if we mess up again, that it's like gonna get worse. Because the first time, like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I started bleeding, but it wasn't that bad.
Right. Oh my gosh, what were these swords made out of?
They were real swords. They were just not sharp.
Well,
like
okay, here's my first
swords?
question. Yeah, like, why are they giving you like real swords?
Because that's what you do. My school had a very like.
Who gives teenage boys like real swords?
Well,
it just sounds like a bad idea.
They brought in a real fight choreographer, a professional fight choreographer to do the whole thing. Like my school's theater program was. Real.
We did some
a
classes
real
like
deal.
that. Like we had like the mats. Like we did them on the mats. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll just say my favorite shows. Like, I was in Sister Act. Have you guys seen Sister Act?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like the shy nun in that show that like gets to sing high, and I just said I was in a chorus line. That's like it. That was like, have you guys seen a chorus line? Okay, it's like this entire show was like all choreography basically, and like it's really hard choreography, like, and I mean, I guess like this is not really like, we just like didn't learn a lot of the dances until like the week before the show, and it was just stressful, but that's like it. I don't have like fun story. I do, but I just can't think of them right now.
Yeah.
But
Well, anyway, Amber, thank you so much for joining us today in the
Yeah.
mixing room and for taking time out of promoting Ain't Too Mad, which is now out everywhere, to come and, promote it on our show. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
That concludes our episode with Amber Cassidy. Thank you guys for listening and watching in if you're on YouTube. If you guys have enjoyed this, please give us 5 stars on Spotify and go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment down below if you're on YouTube.
Yes, and don't forget to follow us on social media at Mixing Room Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We're posting a lot of content there. We're going to be sharing highlights from this episode and perhaps some clips from episodes to come. So be sure to follow us. If you really love what we're doing, as Trent said, leave us good reviews, like, comment, subscribe, but also check out the links in our social media and go ahead and buy us a coffee. We're really looking at growing our platform, and that starts with grassroots donations from viewers and audience members like yourselves. So thank you again, you guys. We really appreciate your support. You can find that link on our social media pages, in our bios. And until next time, for the Mixing Room, I'm Daniel.
I'm Trent. We'll see you guys next time.